today to talk about my spoiler review for Jurassic Park. As you can see, I'm accompanied by my wonderful assistants, 2 toy dinosaurs I bought for my husband, then boyfriend, 5 years ago. I have a spoiler-free review for this as well if you want to check that out if you've never read the book, for some reason have never seen the movie and don't want to be spoiled by it. It is science and action and dinosaurs melded in just like the most perfect way. It's a solid read, it's a lot of fun. You follow these experts/consultants for John Hammond's like prehistoric brainchild theme park zoo attraction, and it's engaging from the first chapter. And so with that, I'm gonna move into my likes and dislikes here. I loved all the main characters. I can't really say that enough. The adult main characters, actually. So when I say the adult main characters, I mean like Hammond, Grant, Sattler, Malcolm, those guys. They were a lot of fun. The kids, I enjoyed the older child, but not the younger one. And I found Alexis really annoying. I have to be honest. I get that she was like 7, but she was heckin' annoying. Which leads me to my second positive. I really enjoyed the pacing. I found it to be quite excellent. You never had to worry about the story dragging. They were constantly moving forward, either the storyline or the characters, but predominantly the storyline. And as the tension and stakes rose, the book sped up appropriately. I never felt like I was super rushed at any point in the story, but it kept a really solid pace that kept you engaged and intrigued the whole way through. Which leads me to my third and final positive here, which is the science. I found it all really intriguing. I have a biology background, so I did understand a lot of the really basic stuff because I personally never studied genetic and molecular biology like in depth, but I understand the premise, I would say probably better than the average reader. And I found it all to be really accurate based on what my own knowledge is. And I found that they extrapolated it really reasonably to come up with what they were doing, how they were splicing things together, and that they were just slightly advanced of what the actual technology at the time was capable of doing, which I just found really interesting, the way they stretched it without stretching it too far. My first negative is Alexis. I didn't care for her. I don't know what it was specifically other than she was a small child. Maybe it was her age, maybe it was that she was just like juxtaposed by these adults who were just overwhelmingly competent. I don't know, but I did not care for Alexis' character. My second negative is parts of John Hammond's character. I specifically didn't care for his obstinacy. He fell into the normal human trap of justifying everything, and he did this by blaming everybody else, including his grandkids, because he is not a cool guy. And while I enjoyed some of the other not cool aspects about his character, this part really infuriated me. And then my final negative, although it's kind of part of the plot specifically, was how the people who set up the park set up self-fulfilling fail-safes, and it was just, I feel like being experts in their field, they would have been better than that. At the same time, they've never done anything like this before, so who knows? And that leaves me to jump right into the characters. I love them. That's all I can say about them. They were competent, they were experts, they were not perfect, they were very human, and I just appreciated every aspect of their character. I think Michael Crichton, or Crichton, however you say it, just did a fabulous job with this cast. One of the things I specifically like is how accessible and likable all the characters were, despite not always doing likable or good actions. You always related to what they were doing because they were just on a really human, really relatable, realistic level. And that's all I have to say about the characters. I'm going to jump into my wrap up here just to finish off real quick. I really like this book, so I'm trying really hard not to just ramble and rave about it. Although I really don't know how successful that is. So this book is a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. I really enjoyed it. It's such a solid read. The characters and the science were wonderful. They were realistic, a little bit stretched, especially the science, but never out of the realm of possibility. The plot was really interesting, with constantly building high stakes and appropriate tension with the situations and between characters. And because of this, I found the end incredibly satisfying, even though people die that don't die, that I didn't expect to die when I picked the book up way back when I was 14. And to be honest, I forgot that one of them did actually die when I read it this time, so I was caught off guard all over again. But they were really realistic, and they were very realistic deaths in the book, and their deaths made logical sense to the situations and to the things that happened to them, which I adore. Because that satisfaction at the end of the book can sometimes be so hard, especially with stakes constantly raising the way they did in this book. Overall, for me, the negatives were pretty minor in this story. I wasn't crazy about Alexis and the way that John Hammond would slough off responsibility with this kind of really external locus of blame. But overall, they didn't really detract from the story that much. Just enough to make me not give this 5 stars. And I'll reiterate it again here. This is a really solid read. I highly recommend it. Especially if for some reason you've watched the movie and have never read the book. Because it is easily better than the movie. But the movie was also amazing. So, I mean, it's hard to go up from there. But the book manages it. And with that, I will leave you guys here. I will see you in the next video when I review the movie, which I think is great because it's an excuse to watch it 2 or 3 times this week. And I'm super pumped for that. Bye.